Okay, if you've ever walked through a Taiwanese night market, you know the smell. That sizzling sound on a hot plate? That's the oyster omelet. It's an absolute classic. But what if I told you its origin story has nothing to do with street food and everything to do with a battlefield? Yeah, let's dig in.
So, what makes this dish just so ridiculously addictive? It's all about the texture. It's this incredible combination of soft, chewy batter, the little briny pop of the oyster, and then it's all surrounded by this perfectly crispy golden brown edge. It's a whole adventure in every single bite. The name itself tells you a big part of the story. In Taiwanese Hokkien, it's simply o etian, which literally just means oyster fried. And that actually points to a really cool feature of the language, where a ton of dishes are just named by putting the ingredient and the cooking method together. It's super practical, straight to the point, and you know exactly what you're getting.
So today's version, of course, starts with the stars of the show, fresh oysters and eggs. But the secret weapon, the thing that gives it that signature gooey, sticky texture, that's the sweet potato starch batter. And the best part is how adaptable it is. If oysters aren't your thing, no problem. You'll almost always find versions made with shrimp, or even just egg, cooked in that exact same delicious way.
Okay, so we know what it is now, but this is where the story takes a complete 180. So I want you to forget everything you know about bustling night markets and sizzling street food for a second. To really get this dish, we have to go way back in time, because the origin of this ultimate comfort food is anything but comfortable.
Our story begins with this guy right here, General Cheng Cheng Kung, though he's way better known as Koxinga. He was a military leader back in the 17th century, and his desperate fight for survival is the completely unexpected key to where the oyster omelet comes from.
So let's set the scene. It's the 17th century. The Ming dynasty has just collapsed, and the new Qing dynasty is taking over. Koxinga, a fiercely loyal Ming general, just refuses to surrender. After tons of battles, his army is worn down, and, maybe more importantly, they're almost out of food. So in 1661, in a last-ditch move, he retreats to Taiwan. His plan? Kick out the Dutch colonists and set up a new base to fight back from. But when he gets there, he runs into a huge problem. The Dutch knew he was coming, and they hid all the rice and food supplies. His army was literally starving. He had to think fast. With nothing else to eat, he turned to what was right there in front of him. The coast was full of oysters, and the fields were full of sweet potatoes. That was it. That was the solution. And this, right here, is the moment the very first oyster omelet was born. It was a prototype made out of pure desperation. His soldiers would forage for oysters, grind up sweet potatoes to make a simple starch batter, fry the oysters, and then just pour the batter right on top. This wasn't about getting 5-star reviews. It was about survival. A heavy, calorie-dense meal to keep a hungry army on its feet.
So the big question is, how on earth do we get from that bare-bones battlefield ration to the legendary dish we all know and love today? Well, over the next few centuries, this dish of survival got a total makeover, transforming into a true night market icon.
Yeah, the modern version is all about adding layers of flavor. Today, you'll never see an oyster omelet without that signature sweet and spicy sauce, usually some amazing tangy mix of things like ketchup and chili sauce. Then, it's often topped with fresh herbs like coriander, which adds this incredible fresh complexity that the original version could only dream of. And the evolution is still happening, which is so cool. You see these fun regional differences pop up, like what kind of vegetables in your omelet? Well, that all depends on where you are. In the north, you'll probably find baby bok choy or maybe some seasonal crown daisy. But you go south, and it's almost always crunchy mung bean sprouts. And the story behind those sprouts is just wild.
I mean, why mung bean sprouts, right? You'd probably guess it's just about what grows well locally or what people prefer. But nope. The history of this one ingredient is maybe the most surprising twist in this entire story.
You have to hear this. The reason they might use mung bean sprouts actually goes all the way back to the Ming Dynasty, when merchant ships used them as packing material. I'm not kidding. They would stuff bags of sprouts all around expensive porcelain to act as a cushion on these long, rough sea voyages. Not only were they basically organic packing peanuts, but the sailors figured out they were also a pretty convenient and very welcome addition to their meals, an essential ingredient born from, of all things, logistics. So, as we wrap this up, it's pretty clear the oyster omelet is way, way more than just a tasty snack. Its journey through history tells a much bigger, much more powerful story. It really represents resilience and human ingenuity. Just think about that for a second. A dish that was invented on a battlefield out of pure desperation, using only what was around, has evolved over 350 years into a nation's beloved comfort food. It's a direct connection to a huge moment in history, served up every night on a sizzling hot plate.
And that really leaves us with one final thought. The story of the oyster omelet proves that sometimes the most normal, everyday things have the most incredible backstories. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? The next time you sit down to eat, just ask yourself, what hidden histories might be sitting on your plate?